Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Police at FBI have sadly announced that they've ended their urgent search for two Hinesville, Georgia firefighters who police say disappeared just days after one of them confronted the other in a restaurant while he was on a date after the two had broken up. Hinesville police announced that the bodies of the two firefighters, 24-year-old Chandler Kubander and 24-year-old Reagan Anderson, have been found in Cocke County, Tennessee, along with Anderson's black car seen on video at a gas station in South Carolina. But they're not releasing any information about how they perished or how they were finally located. If you missed my last video and you're not familiar with the disturbing circumstances that led up to Chandler and Reagan going missing less than a week ago, I'll fill you in this video. But before I do, if you haven't been following this story, then you don't know that Chandler's mother has been doing tearful interviews and lives on her TikTok, asking and, in fact, begging for the public's help to find her son. Because she believed he was in trouble, and she was right. And she was desperate for help. So when she found out that his phone pinged in Tennessee, she announced on Facebook that she went there to search for him. And just this morning, Sunday, June 30th, she tried to do another live on TikTok to give us an update. And I wanted to record it to share it out, but it kept breaking up and dropping her, so it was difficult to understand what she was saying at all. Then it abruptly cut off and ended. So I couldn't make much of a video update. But she did say there had been no sightings of Chandler at all since he was last seen at Crunch's gym in Georgia. And his bank card had no activity on it at all after he disappeared. Then, just a couple hours later, the worst news possible. Police announced Chandler and Reagan had been found, deceased. And my first thought was that I hoped his mother wasn't the one who found him. She was there in Tennessee. She was there to look for him. And then police announced that he was found. My heart breaks for her, and for the rest of Chandler's family, who tried so hard to stay positive and keep the faith, even though they all believed and probably understood the danger he was in. And they may never find out the truth about why Chandler got into Reagan's car the day they disappeared, or why they ended up in Tennessee, where they were found. My heart also breaks for Reagan's loved ones. Even if they knew she was unstable, they may not have known to what extent, and they may not have thought she was capable of doing what she did. If you need to be brought up to speed on this case, Chandler's mom said in an interview that he and Reagan had been in a relationship for 7 years since high school, and they had recently broken up. And Chandler tried to move on by going on a date on June 22nd, but Reagan found his car parked outside the restaurant and went in to confront him in front of his date. Then she went out to the parking lot and keyed Chandler's car. So Chandler called police to report what she had done, and Reagan was arrested. 2 days later, Chandler spoke with his mom and told her that Reagan had been blowing up his phone, begging him to see her and get back with her. But he refused. Then he went to work out at Crunch Fitness on June 24th, and Reagan's car was seen driving around the parking lot outside the gym just minutes before Chandler was spotted leaving the gym. Then he and Reagan disappeared. When Chandler didn't show up for his sister's birthday later that day and no one had heard from him, police did a welfare check at Reagan's home, where they say they found the door unlocked and a note inside that said Reagan planned to harm herself, and she wrote an apology to Chandler. So, with his family thinking he may have gone with Reagan to stop her from harming herself, police issued a bolo for her vehicle.
WSCV's Christine Quayle is joining us live from our newsroom with a breakdown and reaction from family members.
Yes, Tina, so there are a lot of unanswered questions here. Chandler Kubander and Reagan Anderson are both firefighters with the Liberty County Fire Department. They were both reported missing on Tuesday, and Hinesville police have been searching for them ever since. But their last known location was states away, so they could be anywhere right now. And from what we know so far, one of them could be in serious danger, and the other a serious danger to herself.
The site of an everyday routine turned possible crime scene. This Crunch Fitness in Savannah, the gym where Chandler Kubander worked out, is the last place he was seen.
After seeing the cameras from the mall, we could see him walk out, and that Reagan at 10:30 had arrived at the mall. Reagan was driving around the strip where Chandler was at, went around a couple times, parked. After 10 minutes, she backs up and disappears from the frame again. The mall parking does not show where my son's car is during the day, so we could not see what happened between him passing the edge of the camera and where his car was located.
That was on Monday. I went to the gym today and spoke with the general manager. He wasn't able to speak on camera, but he did tell me he saw Kubander come in and leave. So what happened in that parking lot? Kubander's mother, Jane, thinks it went something like this.
Willingly did he get in the car? Yes, but he got in the car because he doesn't want her to hurt herself. That is what I firmly believe. He is trying to keep her from hurting herself. And in this, now he's in a situation that he may not be able to get out of.
Reagan Anderson and Chandler Kubander have a romantic history. Anderson also has a history of suicidal ideation. There are multiple reports from Hinesville police that show Kubander calling the police because Anderson made threats to kill herself. According to another police report, she was arrested on Saturday after showing up to an Olive Garden in Pool or where he was on a date, confronting him inside and then keying his car.
We see the conversations that had occurred on Sunday and Monday between him and Reagan, and it increases and intensifies in her just saying, I want to see you, I want to see you, I want to be with you. I don't want to be alone. I'm very scared. I don't want to lose my job. I'm going to go to jail because of the incident that happened on Saturday.
It's been days since then, but Jane and her family have not stopped looking, telling me she's heading to Tennessee next to search there. She's also taken to social media in hopes of finding leads that way.
No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
I can't even close my eyes because I can't stop thinking about him. I just want to bring him home where he belongs. Every time I close my eyes, I hear a noise and automatically wake up. I start to dream and I'm wide awake. I would rather dream than to live this nightmare right now.
Hours later, Reagan's car was spotted on surveillance video at a gas station in South Carolina. Police say Chandler's phone pinged in that area, but only Reagan was seen getting out of the car and pumping gas.
This is terrifying, and you have no answers.
On your screen is the last known security camera footage of Reagan Anderson on Monday night at an unspecified Circle K in South Carolina.
My understanding is that his phone pinged at the same gas station where she utilized her debit card and can visually be seen pumping gas. What I'm able to see, I could not tell he was in the vehicle.
According to Chandler's mom, there was not one single sighting of him after he was last seen on the surveillance video leaving the gym. So even though police said his phone was pinging in both South Carolina and Tennessee, they weren't even sure Chandler was in Reagan's car with her while they were trying to find her. But now we know. And even though so many of us prayed they'd return home safe, we didn't get the outcome we wanted this time. But if you shared out their information to help find them, or you said a prayer that they'd be found safe, I thank you. Because that was what Chandler's family wanted. That was what they asked us to do. Help them find their son. And we stepped up and we did the best we could. Now, both families and the family of firefighters they worked with need our continued prayers to give them the strength to get through this horrific time that they may or may not have seen coming. In my last video, I shared an interview Chandler's mother did with Court TV where she shared that the issues between Chandler and Reagan ran deep, and there was much more that she wasn't sharing with the public about their toxic relationship. The toxicity that led to their breakup. And now we know the toxicity that led to their deaths. I'll play that interview again in this video in case you missed it. It doesn't give us all the answers, but it sheds a bit of light on what was going on between the two of them. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories. And here is the interview Chandler's mom did with Court TV before their bodies were found. God bless her.
Continues for two missing firefighters. Have you heard about this case? Chandler Kubander and female firefighter Reagan Anderson were reported missing on Wednesday. That's when Kubander's family say that they last heard from him, and they don't believe that he left willingly. Police think that they're headed to Tennessee, to the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area. Joining me now, I have a very special guest I want to welcome on. She's Chandler's mother, Jane Kubander. Jane, good morning to you. I just want to first start off with saying I'm so sorry for what you're going through here. This has to be so unsettling and upsetting, and I know it's really tough to come on live television where people can see you all over, but hopefully this will help. So first things first, what's the latest updates you've gotten from police, any firefighter friends, anybody who's given you any recent clues as to what may be going on with Chandler?
So we've traced all the way back to when this all really, it's been going on for years, but they've had a relationship for 7.5 years, and they've separated because it is not it's just very toxic for both of them. My son did go on a date on Saturday, the 23rd, and she found his car and where they were at, and came and keyed his car while he was on the date, and he called the police. She subsequently went to jail and bonded out on her own, but during that time she was calling and texting my son because she's terrified for her to lose her job. They are great firefighters. This is just, she's not in the right headspace at all. And after that happened, she just continued to message my son back and forth, and he just kept telling her, please stop calling me, let me be, I need time to think, I need my space. I told you I'd help you to take care of stuff, like even like shoes and stuff that he has, he was willing to give back so she would have extra money to pay all the extra bills that are going to come from her choices and her actions. And she was trying to get him to come see her at any cost, and he just kept telling her, I was told not to, I can't. And every time we come together, this happens. Fast forward to Tuesday was my daughter's birthday. He went to the gym that morning at Crunch Fitness in Savannah. My husband had talked to him before he went in and told him that she transferred a sum of money to him, and sometime subsequently she transferred it back to her, and then she again transferred it to him. He was told by my husband, do not touch that money, and call your lieutenant, let them know, or your captain, and let them know what's going on. And he did. I was trying to work a little faster. You know, I can do a little more things than the police department can do. They have to follow a protocol, but I don't. So I preemptively, after my son had gone up and found my son, I have another son, his name is Xander. Xander had gone up to get, get the car, and I apologize. I have dogs, and
It's okay. I've got animals too in my house. I know. I'm sure this is upsetting for the animals too. I mean, let's be honest. They sense things. They sense that you're upset, I'm sure. And so
right.
You were saying you don't have to.
It's chaos right now.
Yeah, you were saying you don't have to follow protocol, right? The police, do, but it sounds like you've notified everyone, right? The fire department's aware of what's going on. The police were aware.
Everybody knows what's going on.
Of the incident. And then, did you get some information that they were heading to the Pigeon Forge area? How did you learn that, Jane?
So after my son's car was found outside of Crunch Fitness, still sitting there, we reviewed cameras that are at the mall and saw that Reagan had showed up at the mall, and waited around and drove around the parking lot where my son's car was parked. At 11:40, my son came out of Crunch Fitness, and that was the last time he's seen heading towards his car. After that, I spoke to the detectives, and they said, we're looking at the cell phones. We're pinging their cell phone, trying to get their cell phone records. And at that point, every 15 minutes, they get a notification that tells them where the cell phone is if they get notification. Well, no one had spoken to my son since after 11:30. No one had talked to him after that. So the next time my son's cell phone gave an alert was at 4:30 in South Carolina, when they were, it doesn't show my son in the video they have, but she was getting gas at a gas station, and his cell phone is the one that went off. It almost sounds like he was calling her from inside the gas station, maybe to ask her if she wanted something. And I do believe he's with her to keep them both in this world right now. Because her headspace is really bad, and there's a lot of stuff that we just aren't telling everyone, to try to be able to work farther in. It's a very deep situation for the two of them. And the next ping that came was actually off of Reagan's cell phone in Cosby, Tennessee.
Okay.
And they haven't been seen since.
So that's why you're saying Tennessee. Do you have reason to believe that Reagan is suicidal and your son is trying to comfort her through that?
Yes. There's been multiple occasions where she has attempted or gave the appearance of attempting to commit suicide. And my son had gone out several times to keep her from doing so. And this time there is a suicide note that was left, or a note in general that was left, explaining where to send her belongings to and how to handle her belongings, and that she is sorry to my son. Just one line, "I'm sorry, Chandler." That's it.
But it's not like
that was written.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That was written right prior to them going, her going to the gym where she met him at
the gym. So we know they made contact there at the gym. We know that much.
That's correct.
Okay. And this is not like him, though, to not let you all know, hey, I'm with Reagan. She's needing my comfort. This is unlike your son.
He didn't even want to meet up with her. And in some previous text messages, we don't have his phone or anything, but we were able to find his watch, where he's just telling her, "I'm not going to meet with you. I cannot meet with you. You cannot come here. I am not coming to you." It's just constant him telling her no. And he's very much a creature of habit, and all of this media attention, he's going to be so upset and so embarrassed because he's a private human being. And he's very driven to do the right thing and make sure people are safe. And he really does care about Reagan. You just don't give up 7.5 years of a relationship and not care about someone.
Sure.
But he talks to his brother and his dad in a group text message all day long. They share videos and memes, and they talk, and he says, "Yeah, I'm coming home." We check on him. We know his schedule at work. And he would have never not come to his sister's birthday.
Yeah, I'm sure. And, I don't know Reagan and Chandler, your son. He sounds like a wonderful human being. I do know the cycle of domestic violence. I volunteer in that movement. And you said some things that have some red flags going up in my mind. Has she used suicide as a threat to keep him in the relationship in the past when he's tried to break up with her?
Yes.
Okay. You know, and that's a very telling sign of abuse, you know, going on. And that is a form of abuse to try to threaten. Nobody should be put through that. You know, everybody has the freedom to exit a relationship at any time. You know, I wish we had more time to talk, Jane, but we're out of time for now, but we want to keep the conversation with you going. As we kind of close out just this talk for now, tell me, are you hopeful? What's next? What are you feeling right now in this moment here?
I'm terrified. There's so many. I'm trying not to catastrophize the situation, but it's very hard when there's so many things that could go wrong. And I haven't heard from him since Tuesday when my husband last spoke to him. He would never not call us. No one, everything we keep coming across just turns up nothing. It's not them. No one's seeing them. Cameras aren't seeing them. I'm just asking the public, please share the message. If you see this car, call 911. Text me, let me know that you've seen them. Let the police department know you've seen them wherever it is.
And we're going to do our part to share it as well, Jane.
I don't care if they're in it or not. I don't care if you see just him.
There's the tag, the
Yes,
Georgia tag. We were just showing the little black car. Yeah, we'll continue to put that up. We're going to put it up online as well. Jane Kubander, stay hopeful, stay safe. We sure hope that the next time we speak, that Chandler will be home safe and Reagan will be home safe, and that this can all be put behind you. I wish you well. You'll be in my thoughts and prayers. We'll speak soon, okay?